Channel, everybody. Hi, my channel members. It's Wednesday. It's your video day today, folks. And I saw this article on Bloody Disgusting, and given my penchant for watching slashers, I really wanted to focus on this one today. It is a article from, obviously, Bloody Disgusting, Camp Blood, 7 retro summer camp movies. It's Friday the 13th week, folks, and as you know, we're huge Friday the 13th fans here on the channel. We're watching Friday the 13th Part 2 this Friday night, 8:05 Eastern. It's Vinny's birthday, Friday the 13th. We're going to celebrate that. I am doing some remixes for Friday the 13th title sequences for our Monday night show, Nitro, throughout the month of October. Those will be available in an omnibus on Patreon, patreon.com/wrestling with horror. Channel memberships, you guys know you're already channel members, $2.99, $4.99. There you go. All the formalities are out of the way. Let's talk about this article. Now, before we get into it, the Friday the 13th, this is a iconic summer camp slasher franchise. Since its inception, centered around Camp Crystal Lake. I went to a few summer camps as a kid, week-long ordeals. And I had already seen, the Paramount Friday the 13th by that point when I was like 10 or 11 when I went. So as a kid, I wasn't really afraid that, like, being in the woods, that I was going to get killed by Jason Voorhees. I was never afraid of that because I understood, fiction. But it always just an eerie aura that the shadow these movies cast over a young kid's experience. It's the atmosphere. Like when we would go on these like little night hikes at times. It was. You're not worried about Jason popping out. It's the other things that you're scared of, the practical, feasible things as a kid. But let's take a look at these movies. You guys let me know in the comments if you've seen any of these. And I scrolled through the list to see if we'd watch them. I've seen a couple of these. There's a few of them I haven't seen, and there are some that I am definitely going to watch because they look terrible. And 80s schlock horror, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing better. When Friday the 13th was released in May 1980, its remarkable financial success, $59 million at the box office, poured gasoline on the flickering slasher genre flames. Already burning solid thanks to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween, these films became touch points for many filmmakers looking to break into the industry or simply stack a few coins. Everything from masks and machetes to final girls and fake-outs quickly became solidified as standard genre tropes. However, it was Friday the 13th that reframed summer camps as prime locations for slasher mayhem and popularized it, with others looking to replicate the results. For those lucky enough to have attended summer camp in their youth, the yearly pilgrimage offered a chance to disconnect from the outside world, forge new friendships, connect with nature, escape the day-to-day oversight from annoying parents. While often secluded, remote locations foster this sense of escape. It also naturally prohibits one. Further exacerbated with limited automobile accessibility and adult supervision, everything that makes a summer camp the perfect setting for killer chaos is built into its DNA. With many actual summer camps in the 80s willing to rent out their facilities, it's no wonder why so many filmmakers were quick to jump on the summer camp canoe. It is the 40th anniversary of Friday the 13th Part 4, which I should do another review of. You guys let me know in the chat if you guys want another review of Friday the 13th Part 4. Maybe go in depth about a character, some scenes. Just let me know in the comments, and we'll see if we can make that happen for you guys. The Burning, 1981. Even though the wheels were firmly in motion for Tony Malam's The Burning before Friday the 13th was released, Camp Crystal Lake hugely influenced the final Malam released into the world. Although the film's core story continued to center around the Cropsey urban legend and the vengeful Camp Blackfoot caretaker, a few key elements were tweaked to intentionally align the film with Friday the 13th and its fans. While the rewritten ending and extra emphasis on the nearby Camp Stonewater location indeed speaks to this, Two key crew hires practically scream this intention: Tom Savini and Rick Wakerman. To meet the gore bar Friday the 13th set, the producers of The Burning went right into the source and hired Tom Savini for the film's makeup and special effects. The choice instantly injects authenticity into the production and creates a powerful visual continuity between the two summer camp slashers. Similarly, by hiring keyboardist Rick Wakeman from the band Yes, The Burning score delivers the clever blend of Halloween and Friday the 13th, complete with vintage synth, killer embodying motifs, and a jarring bluegrass breakdown. These two choices, working alongside a killer cast, includes young Jason Alexander, Fisher Stevens, and Holly Hunter, result in one of the best Friday the 13th coattail riders out there. We have a review of The Burning up in form of a episode of Tuesday Night Terrorvision. I enjoyed it. I liked the movie. I thought it was a fun watch. I don't necessarily hate Friday the 13th knockoffs because I love slashers. The Chill Factor, 1993. I have never seen this one. Why is this? Christopher Webster's The Chill Factor is an odd little horror outing. It's almost as if writer Julian Weaver threw a bunch of popular horror tropes into a hat, pulled them out, and wrote a film around them. As one of the most popular horror properties of the 1980s, it should come as no surprise that more than a few elements of Friday the 13th made their way into the film, including the summer camp setting. However, these elements are presented just slightly off-center to avoid making the comparisons too obvious. In the film, a snowmobiling trip goes wrong for a group of young, attractive couples, with one of these adventurers has a snowmobile accident in the middle of nowhere and gets knocked unconscious. Left with few options and bad weather on the horizon, the group hunkers down at an abandoned summer camp nearby. Soon, things truly get weird as the summer camp's dark religious past awakens to wreak all sorts of supernatural havoc on the young adrenaline enthusiasts. Because this summer camp is visited during winter, it couldn't possibly be inspired by Camp Crystal Lake. That's another one I want to check out. Sleepaway Camp, 1983. I don't even need to tell you guys what this movie's about. You know, it is a fantastic fucking movie with a great twist ending. I had never seen this before. I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago I watched this, and I was like, damn, this is crazy shit. And I didn't know there was sequels. I have to watch part 2 and 3. I've never seen those. Cheerleader Camp, 1988. Never seen this one, never even heard of it. John Quinn. I went to school with a guy named John Quinn. I wonder if it's the same person. That'd be fucking hilarious. It's not, but it'd be funny if it was. Because John Quinn's sleazy slasher cheerleader. That sounds like the guy I went to school with. John Quinn's sleazy slasher cheerleader camp is everything you think it is and more. Starring Betsy Russell of Saw franchise fame as Allison, the movie follows her summer from hell at cheer camp. Plagued by horrific nightmares about the upcoming cheer competition, Allison soon begins to question her sanity and what she is capable of when her fellow cheerleaders begin to die awful deaths, one by one. Just like Needy Lesnicki says in Jennifer's Body, hell is a teenage girl, and cheerleader camp embodies that idea in every way imaginable. Madman, 1981. Inspired by success of films like Friday the 13th and Halloween, filmmakers Gary Sales and Joe Giannone wrote their own horror film about the East Coast urban legend of Cropsey. Unfortunately for them, they soon heard about another Cropsey-related movie in production called The Burning. Rather than compete and risk both projects getting canned, Sales and Giannone swapped their antagonist Hook for an axe and renamed him Madman Mars. In Madman, a camp for gifted kids called North Sea Cottages has the unfortunate distinction of being located right next to a dilapidated house of renowned family annihilator Madman Mars. After an informative campfire tale warns of the dangers of using Mars' name in the woods, one arrogant young man naturally challenges Mars to make his presence known. While Mars' ensuing rampage makes satisfyingly quick work of the camp's counselors, it is the film's amusingly overwrought dialogue, synth-tastic score, natural woodsy surroundings, and incredible theme song that make Madman a respectable Friday the 13th imitation. That was another one that was fun. I'd never seen it before, and I was, like I said, it's just one of those movies that, yeah, it's a Friday the 13th copy, but it's very fun. Here's another movie that I have never heard of before, Twisted Nightmare from 1987. For most people, if a random invitation were to appear for a summer camp where a sibling had died under mysterious circumstances only a few years prior, most would file the invitation in the trash without thinking twice. Lucky for us, the characters in Paul Hunt's Twisted Nightmare, aka Ancient Evil, are not quite so quick to turn down a free vacation. As one might expect, bodies quickly begin to pile up at the ironically titled Camp Paradise, as a mysterious killer ushers the visiting campers off the premises and this mortal coil one by one. Deeply reminiscent of Friday the 13th in a myriad of ways, including sharing some sets with Friday the 13th Part 3, Twisted Nightmare is a summer camp horror film worth visiting for only the most dedicated campers. I'm going to check that out. And last on our list, the 1989 movie Moonstalker. Never heard of this. Similar to Chill Factor, Michael S. O'Rourke's Moonstalker subverts the traditional summer season camp setting and takes place during the chilly winter months. In the film, a vacationing family and group of young wilderness camp counselors training for something soon find themselves at the mercy of a brutal madman. With little more plot to offer than that, it would be easy to write off Moonstalker as little more than a generic Friday the 13th fare. But what Moonstalker lacks in narrative complexity and cinematic prowess, it makes up for in atmosphere, decent kills, and silly slasher fun. Yeah, that's another guy that looks like from the town that dreaded sundown. Well, there it is. There's the list. Have you seen any of these, or do you want to watch them? Would you be interested in me doing reviews of these, seeing us do a commentary? Let me know in the comments. I've got some work to do now because these look like some fun movies. So I'll be checking some of these out. You guys will hear about them, of course. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Channel members, thank you so much for supporting the channel. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.